Good morning, everybody in Crestview. As you see, anything helps when you praise Yahweh. It's not me holding a sign, it's just, I have that everywhere I go, so I'm not panhandling with a sign. But I am making myself very available to get help by sitting here outside of McDonald's where everybody else does. I'm not the only one that does it. Numerous homeless people sit in this spot and over there, and there's good people here in Crestview that will help, sometimes pull up and give money for our food. Do I want to work? Yes, I do. Would I like to work instead of doing this? Well, yes, I would. Why do I do this? Well, when I first got to Kristen about 6-7 months ago, I put in about 45 applications. Every single interview. Numerous ones that were like, that's him. No, they'd walk back, they'd come out the interview, and they'd turn back around, go back in, and then they'd come back. We're not hiring, sir. We're not hiring, sir. And I'm not lying to you. Before God, my right hand, that same day, somebody else came out. I sat out there and I'd be on their Wi-Fi, and they gave me an interview and hired them. They wouldn't even give me an interview. So I'm like, why is this happening? About 45 different places, from the east to the west to the north to the south of Kristen. And then 2 weeks later, after I finally just gave up on looking for jobs after all that crap, people started telling me I was being called a pervert and a pedophile. That this was starting to stir around this town. So I'm like, why would they do that? Never been investigated for that. Never done nothing like that. Enterprise, Alabama. I think 70-something miles from here. My dad, Robert Jay-Sealz, lives there. Now, this is my assumption. I can't prove it, but I'm being called pervert pedophile by people that don't know me on something that's never been on my past. My dad had sex with Kristen, Harvey, his niece. I reported it. Go down below, you can hear my dad and my mama's best friend admitting this as a witness that they said this. My dad had sex with his niece. I reported it. I'm no longer allowed to talk to my kids. So I'm assuming, coming from their mouths, they've spread this slander out here on my name because they're mad. I actually called them out on the things they said to get my kids out of that house. Because my children, my 14-year-old and my 12-year-old, do not need to be in the house. He had sex with his niece. The dog don't need to be in there. He needs to be on the sex offender list. So does Kristen. She never turned him in. They committed incest. They're disgusting for that. But anyways, back to my point. I tried to get a job. Couldn't get one nowhere. Had nothing to do with the tax. All that's bullshit. That's a cover-up. I couldn't get a job because I've been called a pedophile, pervert, and slandered in this town. I'm not mad. I accept that some of y'all just believe what you were told and you were angry. I wish you'd have been a little bit more wise about it and actually did your research. Stop believing the hearsay. But anyways, back to my point. The reason I'm sitting out here hoping somebody will help me because I'm completely broke and there's resources in this town, yes. But there's other things I need, like tarp, clothes, certain things I can't get at the shelter in other places. Certain things I need. Tarp for my tent, you know what I'm saying, so I can stay dry. And I need the money. Now, do I drink a little bit? Yes, I do. But the money that I start getting from now on is going to go in the bank. And I'm going to save it. I might spend $10 or $5 out of it. Give me a cigarette or maybe a couple shots. But if I get $100, only $5 is going to be spent on that. The rest goes in the bank. I'm going to start stacking my money. But that's the reason I'm out here sitting like this. I don't want to do this. I'd rather work. But they won't allow me to have a job because my name's been slandered. Now remember, my dad had sex with Kristen Harvey, my cousin. My cousin Kristen Harvey had sex with my dad. My sister Crystal Russell and Hannah Russell, her daughter, have slandered my name. They're close to my dad and mom. I've been under full-blown attack by my own family. Now I've heard them say this stuff, but I don't know if they said it to people here, but I believe they did because it's not far from here. And I do know this much on the last part of the note, what I'm telling you. The thrift store up this road, when you pass the courthouse on the left, I forgot the name of it. I think it's Exodus. I went and volunteered one day there after all this stuff started. I think it was about 2-3 months being in this town. And when I'm working for them, someone kept talking and they kept looking at me funny. And I was like, why are they doing that? And I tried not to pay it no attention. I went outside to talk to the father's son that works there. And he out of nowhere, he said, I was like, where's all this extra stuff go you can't keep? Oh, that goes to the sister store in Enterprise. I said, in Enterprise? Who's the sister store? John Belcher, Christian Mission. The same place that refused to allow me to come into the recovery center because they said I was a pervert and a pedophile. And I said, well, why can't I get in? It's not on my record. It don't have to be on your record. We had some people tell us that, and that's all we need to know. Now, remember, John Belcher lives close to my mom and my dad in Enterprise. My dad had sex with his niece. I'm under a full-blown attack by, I'm gonna use the best words I can use before God, because I want to, not attack people, by those that have decided to follow the ways of Satan and attack a good man, a good father, and keep me away from my kids for standing up for them. Don't want me working, want to keep me down. But that's why, like I said, I'm out here with this, letting people know to praise God, and I'm not holding this time, but I'm sitting right here hoping somebody can help me. If you can't, that's cool, you don't know me shit. But if you can, I appreciate it. For those that don't believe the lies, you're using your brain. For all those that believe it, well, I don't want to be hateful to me. Not everybody's that intelligent. Have a good day. It is 7:10 a.m., February 25th, 2026.